Now live from Palin Music Studios in Springfield, Missouri, it's Wake Up with Greg. Here's your host, Greg.
Hey, good morning, friends, and welcome to Wake Up with Greg. I am your host, Greg Rosander with Palin Music Center. Happy Thursday to you. Thursday, what is it, the 7th today? Something like that? 7th, 8th, 9th? The 7th. This is episode 179. I did the calculations yesterday, so we're coming up on episode 180 tomorrow, and then before you know it, we'll be at 200. Good Lord willing, right? All right. Well, hey, it's great to have you here this morning. It's a beautiful day outside. Sun is shining. It's really crisp and chilly in the air this morning, though. As you can see outside my window here, I mean, it's just a beautiful day. Sun shining. It's a chill fall day. It just feels great. So happy to have you here. We are here every weekday morning, 8:30 a.m. Central, to share the coolest instruments on the internet for you. Now, yesterday I shared three new to us instruments that were vintage used instruments that you had not ever seen on this show before. And today I'm going to continue that trend with three more. These are a little less vintage, but they are still great used instruments that we have available for you, but all professional grade that are perfect for advancing students and professional players, amateur players as well. So stay tuned for all of those. It should be a lot of fun. Things that you have not seen on the show before. Well, I mean, you've seen flutes, you've seen clarinets, you've seen trumpets. So you've seen, but you haven't seen these specific ones. So something new for you. So that's got to be exciting for sure. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. In addition to the cool instruments, I've got some music to share. And then I've got a film to share with you. And then, just whatever else is on my mind. It's been an interesting week in the world, especially in this country. So, hope everybody's doing well out there. Let's see, what do we got tomorrow? Tomorrow, my big day. Super excited about tomorrow. We will be releasing the Jay Beckenstein interview that I did with Jay Beckenstein of Spyro Gyra on their 50th anniversary tour. One of the highlights of my career for sure, because he's definitely one of my musical idols, if you will. So it's going to be a great show. So stay tuned for that tomorrow, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you get the notifications about it. Make sure that you are sharing this with all of your friends and family and everybody else out there in the world, because I think they would love to see this as well, especially those who are fans of jazz and specifically the band Spyro Gyra. It's going to be awesome. So make sure that we're doing all of that would be great. Of course, hit the like and the share and the subscribe and all those buttons. We've got the live stream chat going on. So best way for us to interact today. Somebody new on the show, Wilton Paulino Diaz. Welcome to the show. Where are you watching from, my friend? Where in the world are you? We are here in Springfield, Missouri. Love to know where my fans are watching from because we've got viewers from all over the world, which is really cool. What was the one we had earlier this week? What country was it? It was, I can't remember. I should have written it down. I can go back and look.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, I mean, we've got them from just about everywhere now. Haven't had anybody from the North Pole yet, so I'm waiting for that to happen. Santa, if you're up there listening and watching, chime in on the chat and let me know how you're doing. Or the South Pole. I don't know. Haven't heard from the South Pole. Nobody in Antarctica has chimed in on the show yet. So, but maybe that's coming. I should have a guest maybe showing up sometime from Norway, but. Of course, right now it's probably 6 o'clock in the evening over there, or 3, 4 o'clock, anywhere, somewhere around there. Yeah, so that's what we've got going on. Excited to get the show started and get it rolling with y'all. Who else is here? Vincent is here. Good morning. Max is here. Max would feel better if he could see 3 amazing horns.
We got just the thing.
We've got just the thing. 3 amazing horns. I've got them. So I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, Max always trying to keep me guessing on what's going on here. So yeah, that's what we got. We're going to get this party started, but it is no party without my friend Jordan. So let's say good morning to Jordan. Good morning, Jordan.
Hey, good morning.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Doing well. We're doing well. Everybody's doing well.
Yeah.
As well as we can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful day. What's not to be doing?
It is.
Well
it's nice outside.
Right? Shall we? I guess we should just dive into this thing, right?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Start us off with your shirt and watch today.
Shirt and watch. I think this is the weekend that I will be switching out the wardrobe, heading over into the cooler weather wardrobe. So hopefully you'll get a whole new slew of shirts, at least ones that you haven't seen since this show started. So, but today's shirt, this is a Tommy Bahama. One of my newer ones that I really love. I love the the graphic design of it. It's very artistic. There's a certain word for it, and I'm blanking on the word, but yeah, I mean, we got all kinds of different kind of leaves on here. I think these are like some pineapples, or supposed to be a pineapple. I don't know, but it's all black and white and gray, so it's kind of cool. A little different for a tropical. It says on my shirt, it says Island Zone. I can't get to where you can see that there, but Island Zone. So this is I'm in the Island Zone today. I would love to be on an island somewhere today. That would be amazing. With all the stuff going on in the world, it's been interesting. Watch TikTok and whatever, just kind of pass some time. And there's a lot of videos saying, countries that are paying you to move there. Countries outside of the U.S. that will pay you to move there. And there's islands in Ireland and Scotland and Sweden. I mean, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I look like a boogie woogie pianist. Oh, that's pretty cool. I shouldn't say I don't play the piano. I took piano lessons when I was a wee child, from age 5 to age 10, but sadly I did not continue it, and I'm not good at it. But hey, I'll take the look. Boogie woogie piano, we'll take it. Why not? All right, let's dig into the watch. My Bulova watch. This was my one of my first fancy watches my wife gave me. You can see it there. For those of you watch fans, got a black. I don't know if you call that guilloche or just kind of it's got that kind of radiating look to it with the silver indices, and then it's got kind of okay, so here's a little bit of watch thing for you. So the logo at 12 o'clock, I don't know if you can see that. It looks like a tuning fork, but it's actually a pallet fork. And the pallet fork is the little piece inside the watch that makes the watch tick. It moves the gears back and forth. Tick, 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 tick. Anyway, just a little bit of watch trivia for you. All right, let's jump into some horns, shall we? First item up for grabs is and again, we need to define the term vintage as to what that means in regards to these musical instruments. I would say this one is probably somewhere in the 20-year-old range. So maybe late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere around there. This is a Gemeinhardt flute, and it's got a French-style case. Now, this is a plastic case, not a wood case. but still without the handle. So, you might want to add a case cover or something to that to make it a little bit easier to haul around. But this is a Gemeinhardt 3SB. So what do we have with the Gemeinhardt 3SB? Well, we've got a professional level flute, great for any advancing high school player or college player, or young amateur professional musician that wants to have a great sound and a great look. Gemeinhardt is an American flute company, so these are U.S. made, handmade right here in the U.S. Gemeinhardt is a flute specialty company. That's pretty much all they do. I think over the years, they've dabbled a little bit in some other instruments. I think there may be some saxophones or clarinets out there, but predominantly it's flutes, and this is a great one. So this is the 3SB. So what do we get with this? As we've talked about flutes a lot on this show, this is an all sterling silver flute. So we've got a solid sterling silver head joint. We have a solid sterling silver body, and we have a solid sterling silver foot joint. That sterling silver gives you that real authentic, rich flute tone that you really want to have. Just beautiful. Now you can get a good tone out of a nickel silver flute, or there's even plastic flutes out there today, but or wood flutes. Wood flutes, which is why a flute is considered a woodwind instrument. They originally made of wood, and so that's kind of how they got into the woodwind family. But certainly a great instrument. We've got the French open holes on here. Okay. So you see the open holes there, which give you better intonation, better facility, more versatility with the instrument. This is an inline arrangement of the keys. So you can see how all of the keys are perfectly in a straight line. So this would be the inline G, I guess you would call it. And then the offset, which is not being shown on this particular model, the offset would be where that G key is bumped out a little bit to give you a little bit more comfortable hand position on there. And then, of course, we've got the extended B foot. Am I going the right way? No, there we go. The extended B foot, which gives that range down to the low B. And then you've got the gizmo key there. You've got your trill keys. This has the Y key arms, where the key arm or the key pad cup attaches to the rod by way of a Y connection at the back. So these do not have the French pointed arms that you've seen on some of the higher end flutes that we have. But nothing wrong with that at all. So this is a great, very good quality flute. This is the Gemeinhardt 3SB, supremely smoking sweet deal on the website. We'll have that up hopefully today or tomorrow as we get those photos processed that we took yesterday. So my gloves are sticking, getting my gloves all snaggy. So there you go. You can check this out soon on the website, or if you want to take it home now, give me a call, 417-882-7006, and we'll send it home with you today. So there you go. Arnell is here from San Francisco. Welcome, Arnell. Great to see you today. And oops, doggone it! Look at that! I just snagged my glove. That's crazy. All right, I don't know what I'm snagging on. Well, these flutes, they've got little pins. All right, the pins are what hold these rods together. It's a unique kind of mechanism that's pretty much only seen on flutes. But sometimes these little pins can grab you, so you got to watch out for that. Anyway, there you go. That's flute or instrument number 1 for the show today. That's the Gemeinhardt 3SB flute. Vintage, antique, modern, whatever you want to call it. It's a great flute. Check it out. All right. What's next, Jordan?
Can you recommend some music to us?
I can. I hope I don't get in trouble for this one. We try to stay away from anything political or religious on the show, so I do my best to do that. But this song just kind of came to me this morning, and I wanted to share it with you. And like I said, I hope it doesn't cause any grief with anyone, because it's an absolutely beautiful song, and it's from a great movie, and we'll be talking about the movie here in a little bit. But I don't know, this song just kind of hit me this week, and I wanted to share it with you. The artist that sings this song, her name is Heidi Mollenauer, and she's mostly a vocal actress, I believe, primarily singing, whatnot. But This comes from the movie The Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Disney animated feature. And the song is called God Help the Outcasts. And, with what's been going on this week, like I said, I'm going to get in trouble. Forgive me. This is just a song that came to mind. And it's a very powerful, very emotional song, beautifully sung. It's also, the Hunchback of Notre Dame chorus is behind her singing. The character Esmeralda in the movie is the one singing this. Now, Esmeralda was voiced by Demi Moore in the film, and she did not do her own singing, so that's where Heidi Mollenauer comes in. But obviously, I can't play it for you, so I guess we'll be safe in that regard. But just give this song a listen. It is such a beautiful song, and I think really appropriate for the time today and this week. God Help the Outcasts. It's beautiful. There is a version of this on the album, of course, the great, the divine Miss M. Help me, Bette Midler did the cover, kind of the pop version of this song at the time, and she's done many of those for many films. Of course, you know her for Wind Beneath My Wings and many others, and her starring performance in the movie The Rose. So she's just a legend, an icon. But anyway, that's enough talking about that. I'm going to add this to the Wake Up with Greg playlist right now. God Help the Outcasts. We're going to hit the button there, and we're going to add to playlist. And boom, so we got it right there. Wake Up with Greg on Spotify. All of the songs I've recommended on this show for the past 1.5 million episodes. So you can listen to it all day long and probably into the next day at this point. But there we go. Hunchback of Notre Dame, God Help the Outcasts. That's my song for the day. Ta-da. And now for something completely different. Like, there was an awkward silence there. You know what? Let's just have a moment of awkward silence, shall we?
Our daily moment of awkward silence.
Our daily moment of awkward silence. We're having silence now. We're not making any noise. Just kidding. All right. Next up. You've probably seen one of these cases before, so you know what's coming up. We have here a buffet clarinet, and not just any buffet clarinet. This one, I did check the serial on this to get an accurate date range. This one came out in about 1996. So, Jordan, is that older than you?
Yes.
This clarinet is older than Jordan. All right. Not by much, though, right?
You said 86?
96.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 4 years.
Okay, 4 years. All right. So this is the Buffet Festival clarinet. I'm going to show it to you in the case here. Now, this one definitely had some love, but we have had this gone through our shop with our top woodwind techs to go through it and make sure it is in perfect playing condition. I'll show you some of the features on this, and then I'll put it together and maybe make some noise on it for you. All grenadilla wood, high grade aged and cured grenadilla wood. We've got the metal tenon caps on all of the tenons on this, which really add a couple pieces of or a couple of benefits of the metal caps is you get a little bit of added mass to the horn, so you get a really kind of rich resonance to it. But it also protects those end tenons from cracking or splitting, those are the most common areas where that happens on a wood clarinet. So I'm going to see if you can see this up here. When I say this clarinet was well loved, you can see on some of the key work here that silver plating is almost worn through, which has no effect on the playability of the instrument. It just has a little bit of a cosmetic deal. You can see it there on the A key. But honestly, I think it looks kind of cool. It's kind of like a what I would call toning, like when you're in the coin world looking at vintage coins that have a toned coloring effect to them, which is really kind of cool. Another cool feature of this clarinet is it has an auxiliary E flat lever on the left hand there, which adds a bit more. I've never actually used a clarinet or played one that has that E flat lever, so we'll see what it does here in just a moment. And this comes as a full kit. It has the mouthpiece with a Rovner ligature and mouthpiece cap and whatnot. But there's the logo there, the festival medallion right there. And a lot of the rest of the regular buffet logos have kind of worn off. Like I said, well-loved clarinet, but this is still a beast of a horn. Great for any advancing player for sure, any professional player. And it's going to be a smoking deal on the website, but let's see if it makes any noise here. So there's that key there. I'm not sure what its purpose is, but it's really cool. That's a nice sounding clarinet. I mean, you can't go wrong with a buffet, guys. I mean, this is really cream of the crop, tip of the top for sure. And the festival, as I understand it, I mean, it's not. They actually made a model years back called the Jazz Festival, which I thought was really interesting and one of my favorite clarinets. I haven't seen one in years. But I think this is kind of the same. I think it's a little bit larger bore. So you get that just kind of power out of it. Yeah, there you go. So that's the festival clarinet by Buffet. This is a used one. This is vintage 1996. Man, it's smoking. This is a great horn. It would be an amazing deal for any of you guys out there needing a new clarinet. You high schoolers, you college players, you pro players out there in the world needing a phenomenal instrument. This is the one for you. This is the Buffet Festival. So come on in and check it out. PalinMusic.com or Reverb.com or call me, 417-882-7006. For those of you curious, the mouthpiece, this is a Van Doren B45 with a D'Addario H ligature and a Legere French cut number 3 reed. All sorts of fun little details there, right? All right, let's grab this last horn. But before we do the last horn,
we have to show something cool.
Show something cool. Well, all right, 1996 is vintage. Yes, Max, I guess that means that you are vintage too. I don't know. That's the thing. The definite. You know what, Jordan? You need to just research this right now. What defines vintage or antique? Okay. We're going to get an answer for you. So we're going to know how do you define vintage or antique? All right. So based on the song I was sharing with you earlier, I wanted to share this amazing Disney movie. You guys have been watching this show for years. Well, we're not quite years yet, but we're heading in that direction. You know my love for Disney, especially the early animated films of Disney. Kind of up until everything kind of switched to all the digital animation as opposed to the hand drawn animation. So yeah, I mean, Hunchback of Notre Dame. This film, by the way, and if you talk to Disney scholars and whatnot, Walt Disney didn't make his films for kids. His films were made for adults. Now, kids loved them as well, but they were truly made for adults to enjoy. And this one is probably the most adult of them all. I guess there are some really strong adult themes in this film. But the music is also one of the most powerful scores that they've ever done for a Disney film, I think. Certainly, in the modern era, the post-Walt Disney era, I guess you would call it. Is it Alan Menken, I think, is the one that did the score on this? Most likely. I mean, Alan Menken. Let's see. Yeah, just so anyway, Tom Hulce plays Quasimodo, the Hunchback himself. For those of you who don't know who Tom Hulce is, I know he's done a lot of voice work on a lot of things lately, but probably his most famous role was as Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart in the film Amadeus, which even that is an old film now. I mean, that came out in 1984, but won the Academy Award for Best Picture, and I've talked about that film on the show before. But he plays Quasimodo, and I had no idea the guy had just amazing vocal chops. I mean, the song on here, "Out There," which is it's a power ballad, which is just fantastic, and Tom Hulce just kills it. I mean, just does a fantastic job. I mean, the other folks in this film: Kevin Kline, Jason Alexander. Of course, I talked about Demi Moore, and it's just a beautiful film. It takes place in Paris, of course, Notre Dame. I'm not sure of the time era, probably 16th century, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look back and see the original story by is it Hugo? Does it say on here? Let's see. Victor Hugo, yeah, the classic novel by Victor Hugo is what this is based on. Guys, it's just a lot of fun. Now, a little bit of history about the cathedral, the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, has been going through a complete restoration after the big fire they had in, was it 2018? I think is when the fire was, 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. And the whole roof collapsed and so I thought they were supposed to be revealing it or opening it back up during the Olympics this year, but I don't know if that happened or not. At least I haven't heard. But I think 2025 is like the big reveal for the Notre Dame Cathedral there in Paris. So check that out. Anyway, a little bit of history for you. But guys, this film is certainly one of my favorite Disney movies. Musically, it's one of the most powerful scores that they've ever done, and some great performances. The song, of course, like I said, "Out There," the song "The Bells of Notre Dame," the song "God Help the Outcasts." So give it a watch, give it a listen. I know you'll love it. And so there we go, the animated classic. When did this one come out? This came out in Oh, where's the date? I can't see the date. The print is too small. I don't know. Anyway, look it up on IMDb. We can figure it out. Anyway, I don't know. Jordan, what did you find out? Vintage versus antique?
Yes, pretty interesting. Shoot, I just exited out of it. But I remember.
Okay.
Okay, for something to be antique, it has to be at least 100 years old.
Oh, okay.
And to be vintage, it has to be at least 20.
Okay.
But no more than 100.
But no more than, okay. So vintage is anything older than 20 years. Antique, anything more than 100 years. That's good to know, because you go into an antique store.
Yeah.
And
it might not all be
They might not all be, in fact, really, you should just call it a vintage shop, because most of the stuff that is in the antique stores, at least around here, is not antique.
Yeah.
So
it'd be hard to fill a whole store with 100-year-old things, I feel like.
It would be. So that's very interesting. So then classic, I mean, classic can just be classic, I guess. We didn't talk about classic. I don't know what defines classic.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, so there you go. Let's dig into this last instrument. I'm rambling today, I feel like. But that's all right. We can do that. So thank you for looking that up, Jordan. So vintage versus antique. So Max, you're definitely vintage, but you're not antique. So that's good. I'm not antique either. I'm happy to know that. I'm vintage and classic, right? That's me.
There you go.
All right. So last up, let's dig into this. There's nothing fancy to show you on this case at all. It's just a box with a strap. But this is, I'm going to get my gloves back on because this is a shiny instrument. Don't want to get it all mucky. This is a Besson, F.E. Besson trumpet. And this is their international series. This is a good all-around trumpet for any advancing student or amateur player who's looking for a great solid horn. Take a look at this, guy. This one, I think this might be 90s era as well, maybe early 2000s. I've not really been able to nail it down for y'all, But I'll show you on the bell. You can see the name there, the F.E. Besson Company. So we got, it's not F.E., it's just F. Besson. International Series USA. Now, Besson typically is made in England. So I'm curious why that says, it's funny, it's because they're made in England. It says International Series, but then it says USA on it. That's a little bit confusing to me, but we'll go with it. Spec-wise, we've got a 4 3/4 inch bell, yellow brass bell. I believe it is a one-piece bell. We have, of course, the bright silver plating. First and third slide hooks and rings. So we've got a hook on the first slide, a fixed ring on the third. We do have the third slide lock there, which is adjustable. No mother of pearls on this one, just straight up metal buttons on there, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just some companies do it that way. And but they have a nice feel to it. So they've got the kind of knurled edge on them, so you still get a nice feel. We've got a hexagonal? Yes, hexagonal mouthpiece receiver right there. Very similar to like a Box Strad. So this is going to kind of fit into that, like the 180S37, because this is a medium large bore horn. But just a great all around, well made, intermediate to professional level instrument, and is going to be, again, at a very incredible deal on our website at palinmusic.com. So you can check that out. So this is the F. Besson, B-E-S-S-O-N, Besson International Series trumpet. Great for any kind of ensemble work, whether you're orchestra or concert band. Great for marching band, great for jazz band. I mean, you can do pretty much anything with this. This is a really, really great horn. And this has completely gone through our shop, has been, chemically cleaned, and, all the tubing brushed, all the slides polished and lubricated, port alignment set properly on the valves, and, everything lubricated, ready to roll. All new felts, water key, corks, and the whole deal. This is interesting. On the water keys on here, they've rubberized the tips on them, which I think is kind of interesting. You don't see that very often. Now, that may have been done after the fact by the previous owner that, maybe just wanted those to feel more comfortable, or, maybe easier to grip. I don't know. But it's kind of a cool thing. I'm sure you could probably just slide those plastic tips off if you didn't like that. But anyway, that is the horn there, right? That is the F. Besson International Series trumpet. And this will be soon to be live on the website right now. As soon as Max gets those photos edited. Everybody say, Max, edit those photos. No, he's got a lot going on. So let's not put any pressure on that boy. He's a good guy. All right. There's the horn. Dun, 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 dun. If I played trumpet, I could play it. There you go. That's what. That sounded amazing, right? That's really going to help sell this instrument, I'm sure. All right. Anyway, there you go. We will be getting more of these used and vintage pieces from time to time. So keep your eyes out for that. If there's anything particular you're looking for. AC is asking where the saxophones are. No saxophones today, my friend, but we do show them regularly. So tomorrow will be a saxophone day. At least it will be a day talking about a saxophone legend, Mr. Jay Beckenstein. So come back tomorrow and check that out, and you'll see we'll be talking about his Cannonball saxophones and whatnot. So that'll be really cool. And then I'm sure next week we'll have a day or two of saxophones as well. So stay tuned for that. I just noticed my name in the bottom corner of the screen there. That's interesting. It's Greg. It's Greg. Hey, it's Greg.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
I don't know why it's there or what it's doing, but you know who I am. I'm Greg. I'm old Greg. I'm vintage Greg. That's me. All right, so we got the horns, we got the cool thing, we got the music. What's left, Mr. Jordan?
Can you share some wisdom with us?
Yep, I can share some wisdom. This wisdom comes from Mr. Mickey Hart. Of those of you in the know, in the music world, may know who he is. Those of you who've never heard of him before, I'll tell you who he is. Mickey Hart is the drummer, composer, author, or he's a drummer. he's not the drummer. He's a drummer. He's a composer. He's an author. He's an activist. And his group that he is best known for, he's been with the Grateful Dead for over 30 years before the band retired. So yeah, kind of a legend in the industry for sure. Here's what Mickey Hart says about music. There is nothing like music to relieve the soul and uplift it. I've been doing a lot of simple quotes lately. Maybe I need it. Next week will be all about like really long tomes, talking about all of the virtues of music. But this week's been short and sweet. There is nothing like music to relieve the soul and uplift it. So true, so true. Even the song I chose for today, it's an uplifting song. God help the outcast. So there you go. Thank you, Mickey Hart, for that insightful piece of wisdom. Thank you all for being here today. It's been a fun show as always. And tomorrow's the big day. Jay Beckenstein, stay tuned for that. Tell all your friends, hit the subscribe, hit the share. Let's get the word out. So we will have an amazing show tomorrow. That's all I got for you today, folks. So we're going to wrap this up and remind you that helping people make meaningful music is what we do. And when you're ready, I'm here for you too. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.